Part 37. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 369. What does it feel like to escape death? It feels like flying. When Yejing and Zhao Xiangbang noticed that the dowdy aura that enveloped the outer city had disappeared, they both breathed a sigh of relief. They thought that the dowdy old man had been comforted by Biao Miao, and they felt happy in their hearts. After rejoicing, there is excitement. Knocking out the half-saint's glutton and then sneaking away was such a thrilling feeling. I really want to do it again. With excited smiles on their faces, the two walked into the Baidu Star Station arm in arm. Does it feel good? Why do I feel like I'm coming? Nonsense. Of course it's great. I rarely see a boss of this level in my life. This time I was knocked down with a shovel. Not to mention how great it feels. It's just a pity that we don't seem to dare to go to Holy Light City anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Seriously, don't let me see that old man again, otherwise I will have to knock him a few times. Don't tell me, it feels really good. Zhao Xianba put an arm on Yejing's shoulder and boasted proudly. The two people were talking freely, and their unscrupulous words reached the main hall of the station. In an instant, the gluttonous old man recognized the voice, his face suddenly darkened, and an invisible aura slowly emitted. Next to the gluttonous old man, Xiao Qinglian held her forehead in helplessness, saying that if she didn't seek death, she really wouldn't die. I tried my best, so I'll do my best and cherish it. The gluttonous old man stood there with a dark face and did not move. He just waited for Yejing and Zhao Xingbang to walk in with a big smile. Ha ha ha, I really want to know what that bad old man's face looks like now. Ha ha ha, I'm probably very depressed. Although I want to know, I don't want to see him again. The two of them walked into the main hall with their arms around each other and laughed. Then, the laughter stopped abruptly. Yejing and Zhao Xingban saw the dowdy old man standing at the door at the first sight. Their faces full of laughter froze instantly, and their smiling eyes suddenly widened, as if they couldn't believe that the man in front of them was real. Damn it, Nima! What is going on? How did this get here? Yejing and Zhao Xingba turned their heads together, looked at each other, then rubbed their eyes neatly, and looked at the dowdy old man again. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. 10 seconds. Time in the hall seemed to have stopped, the air gradually became heavier, and an awkward atmosphere arose spontaneously. The gluttonous old man looked at Yejing and Zhao horizontally with a sullen face. Yejing and Zhao Xingbang stared at the dowdy old man as if they had seen a ghost. Xiao Qinglian looked here and there for a while, wondering why this felt like a mouse meeting a cat. After a moment of silence, Yejing and Zhao turned around at the same time, turned around and left, as if they had never wanted to come in. Stop! The gluttonous old man said quietly, his voice was hoarse and low, as if it was a sound rising from the abyss, shrouding Yejing and their bodies. Yejing and Zhao's bodies suddenly stiffened and stopped in place, not daring to move. Their faces showed deep despair, and their hearts suddenly sank to the bottom. At this moment, the two of them were desperate. How did this bad old man find himself here? Damn it, didn't he hear everything we just said? Is it normal for someone of such age to be deaf? Turn around. The gluttonous old man said coldly. Yejing and Zhao Xiangba did not dare to resist, so they turned around and waited for death. This time, old man Dowdy found him at home and caught him from the front. There was nothing he could do. Even if he wanted to draw a formation, it was too late. Okay, okay. The gluttonous old man's eyes were like daggers. He glanced at Yejing and Zhao Xingbang, who were trembling with their heads down. He gritted his teeth and said, I've been ruined by you two little devils. I thought I would never see you again in this life, but I never expected that I would meet you here. After saying that, he turned to look at Xiao Qinglian and said with gratitude on his face, "Thank you. If you hadn't invited me to be your guest, I might not have been able to take revenge." Invited to be a guest. Yejing and Zhao Xianba turned their heads together and looked at Xiao Qinglian with shocked faces, not knowing what to say. "Be good, I'll tell you why this old man found this place. It turns out I asked you to lure me here. She is indeed the cutest little Qinglian, but she has caused us so much trouble." Facing the glares of Yejing and Zhao Xingban, Xiao Qinglian suddenly stuck out her red little tongue, turned her head, and stopped looking at them. At this point, there's no point in trying to be cute. Zhao Hanban stared at Xiao Qinglian and said angrily, "You betrayed us." "Coincide? This is just a coincidence. Who knew you were so capable of causing trouble that you would offend such a top being not long after you went out?" Xiao Qinglian snorted slightly, indicating that she would not bear the blame. "Do you know each other?" The gluttonous old man looked at the three people interacting with him suspiciously and asked, "Do you know each other?" "I'm her brother." Zhao Horizontal Bar held his head high and said. Yejing covered his face, "I was embarrassed to say it, but you dared to say it?" "Bah!" The old Mandogui spitted on Zhao Danggong's face and said with contempt, "Ask yourself, are you worthy? Besides, she is old enough to be your 800th generation grandmother." With just this sentence, Xiao Qinglian's face suddenly darkened, and a chill enveloped the main hall. Bang! Unconsciously, Xiao Qinglian smashed the coffee table in front of her with a punch, and said expressionlessly, "I am so sorry for you at my age." He he. The old Mandogui's face twitched, and he also felt that he had said the wrong thing. After a light cough, he glared at Yejing and Zhao Danggong again, "I have been searching for it everywhere, but it is easy to get it. Since you two little bastards have fallen into the trap, don't blame me for being merciless. For Xiao Qinglian's sake, let you choose for yourself, steamed or braised. My face is really worthless." Xiao Qinglian complained in her heart. She felt the burning eyes of Yejing and Zhao Danggong, sighed helplessly, and begged, "You don't need to bother with the two juniors. Why don't you let them kneel down to apologize to you and treat you to a big meal, and let this matter go? Yes, yes, yes. Let's just let it go. That's right, just think that we two are blind to Mount Tai." Bullshit. The old Mandogui glared at Yejing and the others who were full of hope, and said angrily, "I am older than your ancestors for 1,000 generations. What kind of punishment is kneeling to me? Eating a big meal? Do I look like someone who can't afford a big meal? That's right, he even forgot his age. Kneeling to him? Recognizing an ancestor? Who is punishing who? Why are all of them passive skills?" Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 370. In fact, the gluttonous old man and Xiao Qinglian are the same type. As long as they feed them, they can be coaxed. The only difference between them is this. Xiao Qinglian can just throw 2 rocks and a few bones at will, but old man Dowdy can't. See if you throw bones to him, will he turn you into a bone? Yejing lamented in his heart, what happened in the past 2 days? Yesterday when he was doing business, he was caught by King Li and punished. Today, when he was doing business, he was caught by the dowdy old man and he still had to be punished. Is this the legendary punishment? Play. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but cast a sidelong glance at Zhao Xingban. Is this person poisonous? Every time I meet him, nothing good happens. Isn't this cause and effect? Yejing secretly made up his mind to stay away from him in the future. Zhao Xiangbang didn't know what Yejing thought of him. He only knew that there was something wrong with the way old man Dowdy looked at him. When he raised his eyes, he saw that the gluttonous old man was staring at his body with fiery eyes. The fiery gazes rolled in and made goosebumps all over his body, which was very unpleasant. Could it be that this old man likes me? What should I do if he wants to play with me? Do I have the ability to resist? Zhao Hanbang was confused and thinking wildly. The gluttonous old man had been watching him, but it was not him he was looking at, but the inseparable golden shovel that was always hanging on his waist. Did you use this shovel to knock me out? Greed flashed in the eyes of the gluttonous old man, and he said hoarsely. This. After Zhao Hanbang was stunned for a moment, he reached out and touched the golden shovel at his waist, and said truthfully, yes, that's it. This secret treasure is definitely not simple to be able to make a child in the underground palace realm knock out a semi-saint. Moreover, even the well-informed old man Tao 11 has never heard of the legend of this secret treasure. Generally speaking, as long as such a weird thing is used once, there will be information left behind. But regarding this mysterious golden shovel, old man Dowdy could not find any relevant memory. There are only two reasons. First, the level of the golden shovel is too low and it is not worthy of reaching his ears. Second, the level of the golden shovel is too high and he does not deserve to know. How did you get this? The gluttonous old man seemed to have forgotten the previous grudges and said with a kind smile. Zhao Xingbang suddenly had a bad premonition, but he didn't pay much attention to it and replied casually, a family heirloom, a treasure passed down from ancestors, has been passed down for 1,000 generations. Ch. How many years is this? Tens of thousands of years. The gluttonous old man immediately made a definition in his heart, this is the secret treasure of the previous era. It might even be passed down by a saint. His hot eyes were fixed on the golden shovel on Zhao's horizontal bar waist, his breathing became heavy, and he said in a deep voice, bring it here and show it to me. What? Zhao Xiangbang looked at old man Dowdy in astonishment, and his heart sank. He finally understood where the bad premonition came from. It turns out that this old immortal has taken a liking to his baby. Damn, bully the young with the big one, disrespect the elders. Zhao Hanbang cursed a few words in his mind, and without hesitation pulled off the golden shovel from his waist. Under the confused gaze of the gluttonous old man, he marked a trace in the space and threw the golden shovel in. At this point, the golden shovel disappeared from Shijito's sight. Sorry, we don't lend our ancestral belongings to outsiders. Zhao Xingbang suddenly became hardened and said in a firm tone. There is nothing left in their nugget section, the only valuable thing is the golden shovel, and the golden shovel is also a symbol of his nugget sect's single inheritance for thousands of generations. In the future, it will be passed down to his son or apprentice. Don't borrow it. The gluttonous old man glared at him angrily, I'm just looking at you, not trying to steal your things. If you don't lend it, you won't show it to me. Who knows if it will come back in your hands. Zhao pulled his neck on the horizontal bar like a fool, and replied forcefully, if you want to kill or behead Ye Jing, and I will take over. Borrow the golden shovel and dream. He thought to himself, if you, who is immortal, kneel down, kowtow 3 times, and call me daddy, I might be able to lend you a hand. Ye Jing was speechless. What do you mean if you accept everything you want to kill or behead? Do my shit. The gluttonous old man laughed angrily, what a stingy boy, then I will be blamed. As he spoke, a phantom of a ferocious beast formed behind him. The phantom opened its bloody mouth and enveloped Ye Jing and Zhao Xingban. Stay in my stomach for an hour. Whether you live or die, with missing arms and legs, depends on your ability. He was indeed an old monster who had lived for who knows how many years. He turned his back on everyone and was borrowing things with a kind smile 1 second, but the next second he was vicious and wanted to eat them both alive. Etc. Zhao Xingbang looked panicked, and immediately became scared. He hurriedly said, I'm sorry, I was too arrogant. I think we can discuss it. It's too late. The gluttonous old man sneered. He was just a little bit curious about Zhao Hanbang's golden shovel, and it wasn't to the point where he had to get it. He originally wanted to take a look, but who knew that Zhao Hanbang hid the golden shovel directly. This hiding action can be considered as irritating him, so he should be punished honestly. Before Zhao Xingbang could finish his words, he was swallowed by the ferocious beast. On the other side, Ye Jing's eyes were wide open. He was about to open his mouth to say something, but he had no chance. Within a second, Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong were swallowed by the phantom of the beast and disappeared. After the phantom disappeared, the old Mandogui licked his lips, looked at Xiao Qinglian with a smile, and said in a soft tone, 1 hour of punishment, how about chatting with me? Chatting? 1 hour? Xiao Qinglian was stunned. It wouldn't be because of me that they were eaten for an hour? She suddenly felt a little guilty. On the other side, the Second Expeditionary Army was stationed in the outer Star Land, and only the Dean and Jizikiu entered the outer city. The Dean walked slowly in the familiar city, and Jizikiu followed him silently. Zikiu, have you been to the outer city? Asked the Dean. Jizikiu replied respectfully, yes, I stayed in the outer city for 3 months due to a mission 2 years ago. Then what do you know about the outer city? Asked the Dean again. What do you know about the outer city? Jizikiu frowned and thought for a while, then said, it's too expensive. Even if I only lived under the overpass for 3 months, it cost me millions of spirit stones. Dean. After strolling around for a while, the Dean turned his sight and looked in a certain direction, chuckling, let's go, I'll take you to meet my old friend. Dean's old friend? Is it the dowdy phantom that covered half of the outer city before? Isn't that also a half-saint? Jizikiu thought silently. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Buletin Bayet. Chapter 371. The sky was spinning. It was dark. What a sin I have committed. After a mid-air flip that was like a devil's roller coaster, Ye Jing fell heavily to a certain place. It hurts. No, it doesn't hurt. It's so soft. In the pitch-black darkness, Ye Jing was slightly startled, and subconsciously reached out to touch the ground. Soft tentacles, a line of throat. What place is this? Ye Jing took out his mobile phone, turned on the flashlight, and the place where he was in appeared in front of him. On the ground, there was a soft dark red fleshy body, which was very dry and had no moisture, but it looked very soft. Not only where he sat, but also around him, dark red internal organs, dry and old meat. Is this man going to die? Ye Jing made a definition in his heart while observing the surroundings. This glutton is going to die. It doesn't matter to me whether it dies or not. Is that Zhao Danggong? Not far from him, a motionless body was stuck upside down in the dark red waste meat. This way of landing was quite special. Ye Jing stood up carefully, used his mobile phone to illuminate, and walked to Zhao Danggong lightly, holding Zhao Danggong's legs with both hands, and pulled him out like pulling a carrot. Hey, 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 wake up. Ye Jing slapped Zhao Danggong's face 3 times. What's wrong with me? Zhao Danggong opened his blank eyes, a little dazed. This is in the body of Dowdy. Ye Jing said expressionlessly, he really couldn't be happy. After all, this was the second time he was eaten alive. Ye Jing felt a headache and heartache just thinking about it. The first time was when he was eaten alive by the white whale with Gray. The second time was when he was eaten alive by Dowdy with Zhao Danggong. Am I destined to be eaten alive in this life? Even so, wouldn't it be better to have a beautiful girl to go with you? Ye Jing couldn't help but complain in his heart. Zhao Danggong sat up, looked around with a confused face, and said in shock, is this in the body of that old man? How is it possible? I thought it was a corpse. It's no wonder he thought so. In the huge internal space, there was only waste meat and dried internal organs, without a drop of fresh blood. Is this Dowdy really still alive? But he said that we should stay for an hour, so there is no danger. Zhao Danggong stood up and stomped on the waste meat on the ground with his feet, which was extremely stiff. Don't mess around. Ye Jing was shocked. Don't be so stupid. Zhao Danggong said indifferently, what are you afraid of? This area is full of waste meat. What danger can there be? This is true. It's a fart. Before Ye Jing could say anything, Ye Jing exploded. When Zhao Danggong stomped his feet a few times, they suddenly heard a gurgling sound of springs in their ears, and the dark red waste meat ground suddenly cracked. My God! What happened? What happened? What happened? Zhao Danggong hurriedly grabbed Ye Jing's arm and said in panic. How the hell should I know? Ye Jing wanted to cry but had no tears. Why is he another pig teammate? After the waste meat ground cracked, deep dark red blood suddenly gushed out from under the ground, just like a volcanic eruption and magma gushing out, bang 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 bang. Exploded. Dark red blood gushed out, and Ye Jing, who was a little confused, was suddenly dripped with a little dark red blood on his clothes. Then, a terrifying scene happened. A drop of dark red blood soaked into Ye Jing's coat, and in the blink of an eye, it corroded the coat into a red dot. In an instant, the red dot spread, and before Ye Jing could react, his coat had been reduced to ashes. Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong saw the scene clearly. In the somewhat cold space, white steam billowed out from the tops of their heads, and sweat kept dripping. Dead, dead, dead. Zhao Danggong muttered with lifeless eyes, and blood shadows fell from the sky, almost covering the entire waste meat space. What else do you want? Run. Ye Jing grabbed Zhao Danggong, who was stunned, and ran wildly in the waste meat space of the old mandaji. The highly corrosive blood rain kept falling, and even if it was just a drop, it could melt them into slag. I'm really drunk. Run quickly. Tell me, who is to blame for this? If you hadn't stomped your feet and cracked his blood vessels, would we be so embarrassed? Ye Jing thought so. Having said that, the blood vessels of the old mandaji are too fragile, right? They will break after a few steps. This person, is he really going to die? And this should be the stomach of the old man Dowdy, right? Dark waste meat, even black impurities, like the stomach of a person who has been eating gutter oil for 100 years. Luckily it is a Dowdy beast. If it were a human, it would have died long ago. Ye Jing's speed gradually couldn't keep up with the speed of the blood rain, not to mention that he was carrying a burden, Zhao Danggong. By the way, can you run by yourself? To be honest, I am not confident in my speed, Lord Ye Jing, please take me. What should I do? Ye Jing gritted his teeth, not knowing whether Zhao Danggong was considered a waste in his body. He casually pulled off the short sleeves of his upper body and kicked off his pants. After the weight on his body was reduced, his speed indeed increased. Brother! Why are you taking off your clothes? Shut up. The blood rain did not last long, probably because there was not much blood in the old man's veins. After the threat was gone, Ye Jing and Zhao found an open space and sat down on the horizontal bar. Don't stomp your feet blindly this time. Ye Jing warned. Zhao Hanbang nodded with lingering fear, don't worry, I won't do such a stupid thing again. Although he said this, his hand unconsciously touched the ground. Huh? What is this? Zhao Hanbang was suddenly startled. He looked down and saw that he was holding a black meat grass in his hand. Look what this is. Don't move. Ye Jing was shocked. But Zhao horizontal bar suddenly raised his right hand and said innocently, I have already pulled it out. In his right hand, he held a black soft grass. Ye Jing, dot. After you get out, I never want to see you again. Hey, 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 Don't look at me like that. Nothing happened. 1 second. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. In the gluttonous old man's waste space, it was very quiet and nothing happened. Then what is this? Yejing asked curiously. After Zhao Xingbang carefully observed the black grass in his hand, he said uncertainly, "Is this some kind of spiritual grass? The kind that the gluttonous old man couldn't digest?" For a moment, both of their eyes lit up. No. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 372. The old Mandogui has stomach problems. There are too many things that cannot be digested in the dirty and messy stomach. In addition to the intact things, there are also many black impurities that have not been digested. When Zhao Danggong pulled out an unknown herb from the stomach of the old Mandogui, their eyes suddenly lit up. Here, for them. It may be a treasure mountain. 2 parasites appeared in the dark red space full of waste. Let me see it. Yejing stretched out his hand to Zhao Danggong. What? Zhao Danggong handed the black grass in his hand over with a puzzled look. Yejing took the black grass and pulled it first. It was very tough and resilient. With his strength, he could not tear it apart without using spiritual energy. Good stuff. Although he didn't know what herb it was, he could feel that the level must be not low. Do you think we should look through it? Yejing suggested, with a look of excitement on his face. At some point, Zhao Danggong had taken off the golden shovel from his waist, his face full of excitement. Dogui's body is a huge treasure house. And the 2 of them are the thieves who strayed in. Where to start digging? Zhao Danggong was a little excited, waving the golden shovel while looking for a place to start in the huge dark red space. Is this a punishment? Is this a reward? Thank you, old immortal. Where to start digging? Yejing fell into thinking. He squatted on the ground and reached out to touch the cold and hard dark red substance. Although it was very hard, it was very brittle. Just like before, Zhao Danggong stomped a few times and almost wiped them out. So, if you really want to dig, you can't be too reckless, you must be careful and don't make mistakes. This is just like scavenging. You may dig out valuable treasures, or you may dig out dangerous bombs. Moreover, he looked at the ground around him. In addition to the dark red substance, there were many black impurities everywhere. Even the blood rain just now did not corrode this black impurity. Yejing tentatively threw a spirit stone at the black impurity, and then a terrifying scene happened. The moment the spirit stone touched the black impurity group, it was wrapped up and then completely absorbed and swallowed. This kind of thing cannot be touched. Yejing shuddered all over. In this case, Yejing once again entered the furnace space and turned on the exploration function. This ability seemed to exist for this moment. Exploration. Target, everything. Range, 10 meters. Do you want to consume 1000 spirit stones to explore? So cheap. Radar is really a good tool. Invisible waves spread all around. In just a few seconds, several red dots appeared in his brain radar. There are so many things in just a distance of 10 meters. What's wrong with you? Yejing's sudden closing of his eyes made Zhao Danggong a little confused. Would he want to sleep in such a place? It's okay. Yejing opened his eyes, shook his head, and smiled. I'm just looking for something. Looking for something. Zhao Danggong was slightly stunned, then he understood and was ecstatic. You mean you can not only find people, but also find things? Yejing nodded, walked a few steps casually, and pointed to the ground. Dig here, be gentle, don't dig it off again, Yejing cautiously instructed. Don't worry. Zhao Danggong patted his chest confidently, I'm a professional in this kind of thing. He squatted carefully at the position where Yejing pointed, and the tip of the golden shovel was against the dark red substance. Then, he inserted it in. The movement was very light and soft, just like caressing a woman's body. His expression and momentum changed, as if he had become a different person. Is this the legendary professional aura? But it feels a bit disgusting. Ye Jing muttered softly. Zhao Danggong inserted the golden shovel into the dark red substance and gently dug his flesh. Even if he dug a small hole, he could not see a trace of fresh blood. This man was going to die. Where is it? Zhao Danggong dug carefully for half a meter, but could not see anything. If he continued like this, would he dig through Doughty's stomach? I don't know, but it must be there. Ye Jing said uncertainly. We are doing something weird in his body, he won't notice it, right? Ye Jing hesitated for a moment and asked, someone is digging a hole in your stomach, what do you think you feel? Stomachache. Sure enough. I think something will happen again after I get out of the stomach. I dug it. At this moment, Zhao Danggong suddenly felt something on his hand, hard and slippery. What is it? Ye Jing hurried over and asked with curiosity. Zhao Danggong reached out and grabbed the thing inside, his face showing disappointment. What? It's just a piece of obsidian. It's worthless. The obsidian as big as a fist is not as good as their efforts. I thought I could dig up some high-level secret treasure. Ye Jing smiled bitterly and said that there was no low-grade raw material found in the stomach of the gluttonous old man. After all, things like spirit stones had already melted before they entered the stomach. However, obsidian precious metals are too rubbish. Where is the extraordinary secret treasure? Where's the artifact? Isn't this a legendary adventure? The protagonist goes through great hardships to obtain some kind of artifact in a mysterious territory. After getting out, he becomes all-powerful and omnipotent. Dig. Keep digging. Ye Jing gritted his teeth and pointed to another place. Then continue. Zhao Xingbang nodded fiercely and walked in the other direction. What is this? Soul grass, right? Herbs used to strengthen the soul and repair the power of the soul. Is it valuable? It's worth a damn. Continue. The next time, I dug a hole 3 meters deep before digging out something else. Are these bones? Zhao Xingbang looked at what he had grabbed and was stunned. What species of bones are these? Ye Jing also took out a huge white bone from the dark red pit. Something that could last forever in Doughty's belly was definitely not a simple species. Isn't this a dragon bone? Zhao asked while stuffing the horizontal bar into his storage space. He once used low-quality dragon materials and combined them with other things to make a bone dragon. Then he was dismantled by Ye Jing. Hey, don't keep it in your pocket while talking. The keel of the unknown dragon is a rare and good material. If it is not used now, it may not be used in the future. Ye Jing also reached out and grabbed the keel of the 3-meter-long bell they dug. At the same time, outside, the gluttonous old man felt the pain in his stomach, and his face turned dark. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 373. I really ate parasites. Ever since Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong entered, his stomach began to ache. It hurts. It hurts so much. Are they not digging my stomach? The face of the old Mandogui was dark and gloomy. He was so angry that he was trembling and speechless. Who is punishing whom? Whose 2 little bastards are these? They are so bold, are they really going to die? What's wrong with you? Xiao Qinglian asked casually while holding tea and eating spirit stones. Nothing, I just want to have a perforated stomach. The old Mandogui said with a dark face. He moved his body, and a black shadow appeared behind him. The shadow of the fierce beast Dogui suddenly appeared and opened its huge black mouth. Get out of here. The old Mandogui pointed his finger at the shadow, and after the shadow of the fierce beast trembled violently, the 2 figures smashed out heavily. Ouch, shit. It hurts. What the hell is that? Yejing and Zhao Dangang fell heavily to the ground, as if they had fallen from 1,000 meters high. They were still digging things a second ago, but the next second, a huge black hole suddenly appeared above the sky and sucked them in. Humph. The old man Tao Ji looked at the two daring people and said grimly, "You two are really desperate. You dare to dig my stomach." Yejing and Zhao Dangang's faces froze, and cold sweats came down directly. "We have thought about this kind of thing, but we can't control our hands." Yejing hurriedly changed the subject and said in a puzzled tone, "Don't you know your physical condition? It's a little bad." "What?" When Yejing said this, the old man Tao Ji's face changed instantly, and the endless killing intent chilled the whole space, and everyone present was frightened immediately. "You know." The old Mandaji suddenly stretched out his hand towards Yejing and the other two, as if he wanted to kill them. "Wait." Yejing's face suddenly changed. They seemed to know something they shouldn't know. He just wanted to take out Jinda, but it was too late. Will he really kill us? He knows too much. The old Mandaji was so fast that Xiao Qinglian didn't react in time, or even thought of it at all. "What's going on? What happened?" "Don't." Just when the hand of the old Mandaji was about to grab Yejing and Zhao Dangang, suddenly, he stopped. "It doesn't seem to be in line with your identity to attack two juniors, old monster." An old voice floated from afar, and then the breath in the whole space suddenly became violent. In a blink of an eye, I don't know when, two people suddenly appeared in the room. It was like they appeared out of thin air. 1 second ago, they were gone. The next second, two living people stood in front of them. "Chief." After a slight pause, Yejing was instantly overjoyed. He never expected that he would meet his acquaintance in such a place in the outer city. "Chief, Jizukiu." Jizukiu also didn't expect to see Yejing in such a place. He was obviously stunned. Then, after a few seconds of silence, Jizukiu first looked at the old Mandogui who was full of murderous intent, then looked at Yejing who was embarrassed, and suddenly sighed. "Yejing, please be a human being. Can't you live an honest life?" Yejing looked embarrassed and looked away. "This is not my fault." "It's not your fault, so is it my fault?" In addition to Jizukiu, there was also a white-haired old man. The white-haired old man looked at the old Mandogui with a smile on his face, and said with a smile, "You old man, how are you still alive?" The old Mandogui's face was gloomy. "If you don't die, how can I die?" "Huh? Ah." Yejing and Zhao Dangang looked at the two people who were talking in such a way with surprise. "Know him? Another big guy? Who is this?" Yejing faced Jizukiu and asked in a low voice. Jizukiu said in surprise, "You don't know him?" "Why do you think I know him?" Yejing was more surprised than him. Jizukiu looked at him speechlessly and said helplessly, "This is the dean of our college." "Yejing? Dean?" Yejing was shocked. "Isn't the dean of their college the legendary dean of the Demon Academy? By the way, what is the dean's name?" "Forget it, it's not important." The dean of the Demon Academy is here, doesn't that mean the 2nd Expeditionary Army is here too? My backer is here?" Yejing hurriedly got up from the ground, with a flattering smile on his face, bowed and said, "Hello, Dean, I am a freshman of the Demon Academy this year." "Freshman? My student." The dean turned his head, looked up and down at Yejing, and showed a satisfied and kind smile. "Very good, not bad, another young and good seedling. Thank you for the compliment, Dean." Yejing smiled and accepted the dean's praise. "But..." The dean suddenly changed his tone, glanced at the old man Dowdy, and couldn't help laughing. "But, you are also very good at causing trouble. You dare to provoke the ferocious beast Dowdy at such a young age. You are really brave." Yejing covered his face. "I didn't want to either." Do you know each other? Zhao Danggong poked Yejing's abdomen and asked in a low voice. I know him. Yejing nodded. Zhao Danggong asked again, what level of boss? Yejing said contemptuously, haven't you heard of him? This is the Dean of the Demon Academy. Zhao Danggong shook his head, I haven't heard of him. I usually don't go to big cities. It's hard to dig in big cities. Yejing glanced at the Dean and the old Mandogui who were talking, leaned close to Zhao Danggong's ear, and whispered, the Dean of the Demon Academy is a super powerful semi-saint. There are only 2 people on Blue Star who can beat him. So fierce, Zhao Danggong said in shock. Yejing said as if it was a matter of fact, that's how fierce it is. Then we don't have to be afraid. Don't be afraid, the big backer is here. Oh. That's it? Zhao Danggong climbed up from the ground. To be honest, he had been lying on the ground all the time. Then why am I afraid? Zhao Danggong became tough. I don't know where he got the courage from. He suddenly glared at the old Mandogui. Then, the old Mandogui looked at him expressionlessly with a sullen face. Zhao Danggong immediately shrank his neck and became cowardly. Okay, you are the boss and I am the younger brother, okay. Who is this little girl? The Dean asked, squinting at Xiao Qinglian. The only person in this room that he couldn't see clearly was Xiao Qinglian. Could she be the granddaughter of the old Dogui? The Dean looked at Xiao Qinglian with a strange look in his eyes. Hey, what the hell are you thinking about? Xiao Qinglian was fearless and glared at the Dean, although your cultivation is higher than mine, you should still respect your elders, right? Elders. The Dean was slightly stunned, then he understood. Oh, a relic from the last era. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bouletin G. Bayet. Chapter 374. The Dean is exposed to many things, and he has heard and come into contact with the rumors of the previous era to some extent. Therefore, when he heard that Xiao Qinglian was from the previous era, he was only slightly surprised and then calmed down. During this period, there have been so many rumors about the previous era. The Dean murmured to himself, whether it's Pluto's mysterious corpse, the gluttonous old man, or the world tree and little green lotus, there have been a lot of chaos about another era in recent times. Snort. Xiao Qinglian folded her arms and snorted softly. She just said casually. No matter what time, strength is always the primary productivity. So, are you planning to go to Pluto? The gluttonous old man looked at the Dean and said calmly. Pluto attracts too many people. Yes, but I am not representing myself, but the entire Blue Star. The Dean sat on the sofa very casually, as if he were at home. In fact, it is the same. The Dean can do whatever he wants whenever and wherever he wants. This may be the calmness of the strong. Oh? Is it a group again? The gluttonous old man curled his lips and said with disdain, so humans are troublesome. Only collective action can give you a sense of security. The gluttonous old man has been a loner since ancient times, wandering alone in the solar system, living a carefree life, eating and drinking by himself, sleeping when he is sleepy, and eating when he wakes up, free and lonely. Having always been a loner, he naturally looked down on large groups. However, the Dean was unwilling to agree with what the gluttonous old man said. He looked at Jizikiu and Yejing with plain eyes. The young man's figure was so endearing. Of course, there is also Zhao Xingban, who has nothing to do with him. Suddenly, the Dean shook his head and said something. People are alive because of the existence of other people. In other words, one cannot survive alone. This is true for many creatures. One creature cannot survive alone. Only with the existence of other companion creatures can there be motivation to continue to survive. It's such a big principle again. Are you used to being a teacher? The gluttonous old man said impatiently, but I feel very carefree living alone. So you have lived for 2 eras and are still single and die a virgin. Yejing couldn't help but murmured in his heart when he heard the conversation between the two big guys. What about you? Are you ready to try your luck on Pluto? The dean changed his subject and asked. Yes. The expression of the gluttonous old man suddenly darkened, and his eyes showed a touch of sadness. I don't have much time left. If I don't step into the holy realm, I will return to dust and dust to dust. Unlike the dean, he has just become a semi-saint and has a long time to spend. With the dean's talent, even if he doesn't work hard and practices steadily, he will one day enter the holy realm. But, he can't do it anymore. In the new era, a crippled creature as old as him is no longer allowed to exist. His body has begun to decay, and if he does not recover and enter the holy realm again, he will die. Originally, he was once a strong man in the holy realm, so it should be easy to re-enter the holy realm. However, the memories of the previous era that originally belonged to him were erased or sealed by unknown sources, and there was no trace of the true saint at all. Now, if he wants to continue living, he can only go to Pluto to try his luck. Even if it is fake, even if it is a trap, he will go. This time, it's really a big move. The dean sighed quietly. Since he came out of Blue Star, he has always had an ominous premonition in his heart. If you are facing a true saint, how many people from him or the 2nd Expeditionary Force can survive and return to Blue Star alive? Unknown. That's it? The dean suddenly said. He stood up and said to Jizukiu, are you going to talk to your friends again, or are you going back to the Expeditionary Force with me? At the same time as the dean stood up, Jizukiu also stood up and followed the dean without hesitation. I'm going back. Where are you, Yejing? Are you going to stay here or follow me back to the Expeditionary Force? Jizukiu looked at Yejing and asked. Shall I go to the Expeditionary Force? Yejing was slightly startled, and was very moved. Blue Star's Expeditionary Force was so strong that no one dared to offend them. If they were in the Expeditionary Force, they would not be afraid of being hunted down. However, he touched his finger and saw that the Thunder Dragon egg that King Thunder wanted was still in his ring. This was a huge fortune, waiting for him to claim it. After thinking about it, Yejing showed a stiff smile on his face and said with heartache, I won't go. Oh well. Jizukiu nodded, and just about to follow the dean out, he suddenly paused, turned his head and looked at Yejing with strange diffraction. After hesitating for a few seconds, he reminded, you should pay attention to it, it's best stop fussing. Yejing lowered his head and covered his face, I'm so sorry for being so tormented. After the dean and Jizukiu walked out of the door, the dowdy old man also stood up, nodded to Xiao Qinglian, and said goodbye, I also want to return to the Holy Light City battleship to guard. After all, I promised others things to do. Well, bye. Both groups of people left. It was a coincidence that after the dean and the old Mandogui left, the owner of the Baiduxing station, Wu Hongqiu, who was dressed like Mulan, came back from outside. Behind her, followed the second leader who looked like a follower. Passing by, Wu Hongqiu turned her head to look at the backs of the dean and others, and asked in confusion, just now, did a guest come? Yejing hesitated for a moment, nodded and said, yes, a guest came. It should be considered a guest, right? But one of them is a bad guest. Who is it? Wu Hongqiu leaned on the sofa with a tired face, closed his eyes and asked casually. Boy, get out of the way. The second leader saw Yejing still sitting on the sofa, and also sitting next to Wu Hongqiu, and couldn't help but glared at him and urged him to stand up quickly. What the hell, a licking dog. After Yejing muttered in his heart, he turned to another sofa honestly and sat next to Zhao Danggong. For some reason, maybe he didn't like Yejing, a handsome young man, or maybe he was jealous of Yejing and others for their young looks and wanted to seduce Wu Hongqiu, so his tone to Yejing was very bad. "What are you thinking about? I'm asking you a question. Who are the two old men who just went out?" The second leader stared at Yejing and said rudely. "Oh, old man? I think you are tired of living." Yejing sneered in his heart and said expressionlessly, "One of the old men you are talking about is the dean of the Blue Star Demon City Academy. Have you heard of him? Why are all of them passive skills?" Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 375. As soon as Yejing finished speaking, he heard a plop, and the second leader sat down on the ground. His face was full of fear, cold sweat on his forehead, and he looked at Yejing with fearful eyes, and said dryly, "Is that really the dean of the Demon Academy?" This really scared him. Zhao Danggong thought it was interesting, and he also said with a smirk, "Haven't you heard? The second expeditionary force of Blue Star has also arrived. It is an invincible lineup that brings together all the strong men of Blue Star. It's over." The second leader was terrified, with cold sweat on his rough cheeks, a look of despair, and a trembling voice in his mouth. "It's over. I'm dead. I curse the dean of the Demon Academy and I curse the half-saint as an old man. I'm dead. The regular army of Blue Star is here. Will they wipe us out at will? Just like the army wipes out bandits. Run." Suddenly, the second leader looked at Wu Hongqiu and said tremblingly, "Let's run. Run for your life. Calm down." Wu Hongqiu rolled her eyes and slapped the second leader on the head without any ladylike look. "We haven't done anything bad. We just collected protection fees and tolls. Why should we be afraid of the regular army? Isn't collecting protection fees and tolls a bad thing?" Wu Hongqiu looked at Yejing with a puzzled look and asked, "Two old seniors, one is the dean of the Demon Academy, who is the other one?" Yejing didn't expect that the second leader, who was like a strong man, would be so timid. Or had he been chased by the regular army of Blue Star before? Could it be that he joined Baidu Star after being chased by the city management when he was on Blue Star and had nowhere to go? Yejing thought maliciously. "Who is the other person?" Before Yejing could answer, Xiao Qinglian answered for him. "The other one is Doughty, who is rampant in the solar system, that is the half-saint Doughty." In an instant, the second leader's face turned pale and bloodless, and he fainted with a creak. "Tisk, you are so timid, it's just a curse, is it necessary to be like this? I even hit Doughty's head, and I am still alive and well." Zhao Danggong looked at the second leader who fainted on the ground with white foam at the mouth with contempt. "You still have the nerve to talk about others." Yejing looked at him with the same eyes. "Have you forgotten the time when you couldn't even stand up before? The dean of the Demon Academy and the old man Dogui." Wu Hongqiu frowned and murmured, "Why do these two big guys come to a small place like ours?" She looked at Yejing with suspicion and asked curiously, "Could it be you two who caused trouble again?" Yejing and Zhao Danggong hurriedly shook their heads and denied directly, "No. How could it be possible? They would never admit it." "Well, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with me anyway." Wu Hongqiu just asked casually. Whether it was the dean or Dogui, it had nothing to do with her. As she said that, she stretched out an extremely tempting lazy waist, took a long breath, and walked towards the second floor. "I've been busy all day, go to sleep." Dispersed, dispersed, all dispersed. The dean went back, the old man Dogui went back, Wu Hongqiu went to sleep, and Xiao Qinglian also returned to her room. Since everything is fine, the matter between Yejing and Zhao Danggong should be resolved. Zhao Danggong asked, "Hey, should we give the Thunder Dragon egg to King Li now?" "Of course." Yejing said, "I have survived many hardships to get the Thunder Dragon egg. If I don't get the reward, I can't even sleep. After working for so long and being eaten by the old Mandogui for a while, isn't it just for this moment? Then he took out his mobile phone and contacted Li Hui. Are you still alive? From the other end of the phone, Li Hui's surprised tone came. Ye Jing's face was dark. Why, do you think we are dead? Well, that's not the case. I just feel that you are alive until now, which is also quite amazing, in many ways. Li Hui also felt that what he said was very rude, so he went straight to the point. How is it, did you get the Thunder Dragon egg? Of course, this is life. Ye Jing said, do you want to send it to King Li now? Then he gave us our reward by the way. Okay, come over, it's still the same place. By the way, this time, please go through the main entrance, thank you. I know it without you telling me. These people of status are so rude when they speak. After Ye Jing hung up the phone, he said to Zhao Danggong, who was full of expectations, let's go to King Li. When they went out, maybe because they had walked past it once, they were very fast and arrived in a short while. When they walked into the mansion, no one stopped them. After entering the main hall, they saw King Li sitting on the luxurious sofa with his legs crossed, waiting for Ye Jing and others to arrive. Are you here? After Ye Jing and the others came in, King Li raised his eyelids and said lightly, as if he had no interest in the Thunder Dragon egg. Is it here? Ye Jing took out the Thunder Dragon egg the size of a football from the storage ring and handed it to King Li. Is it this little thing? King Li played with the Thunder Dragon egg in his hand, and his serious face also showed an expression of interest. Can this little thing really bear my weight? King Li was skeptical about the creature raised from this Thunder Dragon egg. Ye Jing replied, after hatching, we have to wait until it grows up, right? How long do we have to wait? Ye Jing thought for a moment and replied, how many decades? King Li immediately lost interest and said casually, then let's make soup. Don't. If you make soup, our hard work will be in vain. Zhao Danggong suddenly said, dragons can shorten their growth period by relying on high-quality energy. As long as you have money, you can make it grow up quickly and become a real mount. You still have to feed it? King Li showed a look of disdain on his face. It was so troublesome. It would be better for him to catch a dragon himself. Or, you can go back. I don't want it. As soon as the sentence came out, Ye Jing's face suddenly darkened. Lord King Li, please don't joke. Do you really think you are buying vegetables? Just say no and you don't want it? Ha ha ha. Okay. It's okay if it's a little troublesome. King Li laughed and said, let's follow the previous agreement. The market price of dragon eggs is 800 million, and half the price is 400 million. How about this price? 400 million. 400 million. Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong exclaimed at the same time, with only greed on their faces. 400 million, divided equally between the two, that's 200 million each. It's a big profit. This trip was not in vain. Okay, it's settled. After King Li finished speaking, he waved his hand, okay, you go back. Go back. Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong looked at each other, and a hint of badness flashed in their eyes. Ye Jing said stiffly, well, Lord Li, what about the reward? Reward? King Li said calmly, I'll owe it to you first, and I'll give it to you after the auction. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 376. Draft it? King Li, you are teasing us? Of course, Ye Jing only dared to curse these words in his heart, but did not dare to say them out loud. When they heard that King Li wanted to pay a debt, Ye Jing and Zhao Xiangbang were stunned and at a loss. A big shot like King Li also owes money? Are you going to let the little people survive? After a long pause, Ye Jing finally reacted and said with a stiff face, His Royal Highness, You are joking. It's not a big sum of money. It's best to settle the bill on the spot, right? No money. King Li said calmly, his tone was very calm, as if he had already prepared what to say a long time ago. No, no, no. Ye Jing waved his hands repeatedly and said solemnly, how can it be possible that there is no money? It's only 400 million. No, no, no. King Li also imitated Ye Jing and waved his hands, saying, 400 million is a lot of money to me. If I don't have it, I just don't have it. I'll do it. No shit. Ye Jing's tone instantly increased by several decibels, boss. It's only 400 million. If you don't pay the bill now, what should we do? What you do has nothing to do with me. King Li played with the Thunder Dragon egg in his hand and said casually, besides, it's not that I won't give it, I just wait until after the auction. I don't have much money in my hand now, and it may not be enough at the auction, so I'd better give it first. You owe it to me. I'll pay you the money after the auction. It won't take more than a few days, right? It's only a few days away, but without these 400 million, we can't even enter the auction. He is also preparing to purchase a batch of high-grade energy at the final auction of Holy Light City battleships. To enter the Holy Light City battleship auction, the minimum standard is 100 million. But, how do we enter the auction? Ye Jing said with a confused look. King Li said, that kind of place is not a place you are allowed to go to in the first place. He slowly picked up the wine glass and gave the order to expel guests. Okay, you have done a good job in this matter. I will not forget the reward. I will look for you again after the auction is over. Now, please leave first. Then, Ye Jing and Zhao Xingbang, who looked confused, were invited out. The strong wind swept across the night sky, and Ye Jing and the two stood silently at the door of the house. Isn't this a joke on us? After a long time, Zhao horizontal bar roared through the sky. Ye Jing also felt tired. King Li made it very clear that they would not be allowed to participate in the auction. The money is not available now, and time is running out. It seems that the auction really has nothing to do with them. The more they thought about it, the angrier they became, and the more they thought about it, the angrier they became. After thinking for a while, the two of them pointed towards King Li's residence and started to curse. Very quietly. After venting for more than half an hour, the two of them left dry and dejected. A few days later, big bosses from all races rushed to Holy Light City as scheduled and entered the Holy Light City battleship to participate in the auction. However, only some of these big guys were there for the auction, and the other part were there to attend the final meeting. The Holy Light City battleship shook. Ye Jing and Zhao Hanban sat together, looking out the window at the Holy Light City in the sky, with uncomfortable expressions on their faces. Others were happy in Holy Light City, even Wu Hongqiu of Big Dipper went there. Then he left the two of them behind. Ye Jing sighed, I'm really a loser. Zhao Xingbang sighed, I'm really a loser. In the blink of an eye, the 3-day auction ended. Some people left with smiles on their faces, while others left with tears on their faces. Some people did not leave. At the top of the Holy Light City, which originally had only 4 floors, suddenly had a 5th floor. That's a new building, just a new floor built in these 3 days. There is only one hall on this floor, and this hall is the destination for everyone else. This is the final meeting. The purpose is to confirm everything after going to Pluto. After the auction, the dean took Ji Ziqiu to the 5th floor. King Li took Li Hui to the 5th floor. Wu Hongqiu went to the 5th floor alone. The gluttonous old man followed Piao Miao. On the 5th floor, in the magnificent hall, all the big guys who are qualified to go to Pluto are here. In the conference hall, there are titans who have shrunk in size, but are still strong and tall, and are covered in some kind of rock. Even though this titan has shrunk to 2 meters in size, his strength is one of the top 5 in the conference hall. This is Tagore, the half-saint of the Titan race who is 80,000 feet tall and can shatter planets with his palms. When Tagore saw the dean walking in, he nodded to him. After the dean nodded and saluted, he sat next to Tagore, while Jizuki just stood behind the dean. There was no seat for him inside. Besides, the fire demon, whose whole body was burning with fire and as hot as the sun, had also arrived. He could not occupy anyone except those at the top of the extraordinary realm. This is the half-saint of the fire demon tribe with a body surface temperature of 50 million, who thrives in the sun, Liang Tian. There was only one creature who dared to sit next to Liang Tian's seat. It was a humanoid creature whose body was covered in ice like an abyss, with biting ice. This is the half-saint of the Neptune family, the ice soul of the sea, who lives on Neptune far away from the sun. An ice arrow has frozen it for thousands of years, enslaving the entire water clan. All the semi-saints who can come here are rulers with extremely high status in their respective races. The old Mandaji sat on the chair with his arms hunched, drowsy. The semi-saints sat on one side. Those below the semi-saints sat on the other side. No one from the Jupiter elves came, not only because the world tree could not be moved, but also because the elves would not attend such a meeting at all. The shattering of Venus was too serious, not to mention the semi-saints. Even the creatures in the extraordinary realm could not be found. Now in this conference hall, there are only the Dean of Blue Star, the old Mandaji who represents the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce, Liang Tian of the Fire Demon clan, Habing Hun of the Sea King clan, and Tagore of the Titan clan. There is another, and another human semi-saint. Sitting at the end, a middle-aged man holding a pitch-black longsword in both hands. This is the semi-saint of the outer city, who was invited to participate. There are 6 semi-saints alone, and more than a dozen extraordinary realms representing various forces below the semi-saints. Some people haven't arrived yet, and the meeting hasn't started yet, but some creatures have already started making trouble. Fire and water have always been incompatible. Liang Tian stared at Habing Hun aggressively, and so did Habing Hun. One sun and one ice, the two intersected, and the temperature in the entire conference hall suddenly changed, making everyone frown. "You two, don't cause trouble for the younger generation," Tagore of the Titans said in a buzzing voice. "It's none of your business. It's none of your business." Liang Tian and Habing Hun turned their heads together and scolded Tagore. There are too many stories that have to be told about the Fire Demon clan and the Sea King clan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bouletin G. Bayet. Chapter 377. The biggest enemy of the Fire Demon clan is not Blue Star, but the Sea King clan. I don't know whether it is a property problem or a contradiction problem. When the already irritable Fire Demon clan sees the Sea King clan, the flames on their bodies will surge a few points, as if they are mad. The burning flames in their bodies tell them that they must kill the Sea King clan. Then, the contradiction between the two clans occurred. A long time ago, the Fire Demon clan first went to Mercury to rob and sell the Water clan to the entire solar system. The Sea King clan was not happy when they knew about it. The Water clan is their private property. Based on the principle of inviolability of private property, even if they are unwilling to fight with the stupid Fire Demon, they still fight back for their property. This fight lasted for 100 years. Water and fire cannot coexist, and Yangbing cannot be approached. The grievances between the two clans are getting deeper and deeper, and now it has reached the point where they will fight when they meet. I have to say that the Fire Demon clan is really strong, a group of strong ones. While fighting the Sea King, they also fought the Water tribe. Not only that, they also came to provoke Blue Star from time to time. Fighting 3 races at the same time, they didn't lose any advantage. It has to be said that the Fire Demon clan is simply a violent race born for fighting. In addition to the Fire Demon clan and the Sea King clan, the Titan clan is different. The Titan clan is the most gentle race. They have always adhered to the principle of not offending others if they don't offend me. They are a peacemaker clan. Li Yangtian has disliked Habinghun for a long time, and Habinghun usually calls himself the noblest race in the solar system and doesn't care about him. But now that they meet, it's different. The noblest race in the solar system is not allowed to retreat. Li Yangtian blew a super high temperature heat wave at Habinghun. This heat wave made Habinghun uncomfortable all over, and the ghost ice on his body melted 3 inches. Unreasonable person. Habinghun glared at Li Yangtian, who was full of funny faces. After scolding him, he raised a finger, and solid ice appeared out of thin air, directly stabbing into Li Yangtian's body full of flames. After the ice temperature of several hundred degrees below zero entered Li Yangtian's body, he trembled all over and felt extremely uncomfortable. Want to fight, right? Li Yangtian sneered. Are you afraid of you? Habinghun glared back, so I hate rude people the most. Are you a man or a woman? Okay, stop arguing. Tagore was trying to smooth things over, and the conference hall was noisy. Other semi-saints watched with smiles on their faces. The extraordinary realm on the other side was holding back laughter, wanting to laugh but not daring to laugh. Just in the chaos. From outside the conference hall, a man walked in. It was obviously a private meeting, but he was an old man in formal clothes. Who is this? This is the old president of the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce who established the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. The oldest half-saint in the solar system, the top half-saint who has begun to break the second disaster in the 3-disaster realm. Stop it! The old president's vicissitudes of life voice echoed throughout the conference hall, and the conference hall became quiet in an instant. It can be seen that the old president's popularity and prestige are still very high. After all, the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce is doing business in the entire solar system and has contacts with various tribes. As a top half-saint, he has contacts with half-saints from other tribes. This time, we have serious business. The old president slowly walked to the front of the conference hall. A display screen was hung directly above the conference hall. There were only 5 words on the blank display screen. Pluto Crusade. When the 5 words appeared, the air in the entire conference hall trembled, and a heavy atmosphere arose. Pluto. Someone murmured. Yes, it's Pluto. The old president's eyes were a little cloudy, and he looked old. We will name this enemy Pluto. And this is also the first time that the entire solar system will fight. We will name this one, the Pluto Crusade. The meeting on the Pluto Crusade has officially begun. On the display screen, after the 5 words Pluto Crusade, the next scene is the Sea of Stars. In the star map of the Sea of Stars, there is a route from the outer city to Pluto. Do we need to have a meeting? Isn't it enough to just fight? As soon as the meeting started, Li Yangtian said impatiently. He advocated going straight to Pluto and pushing all the way to Pluto. Humph. Habinghun sneered and retorted, brainless guy, haven't you heard that? That's a true saint. 1 finger can kill you. What about the true saint? Regardless of whether it is a real saint or not, even if it is a corpse that has been dead for tens of thousands of years. With so many of us, can't we defeat it? Li Yangtian glared back. Idiot. Who knows the methods of a true saint? Don't you know if you fight? So a brainless person is a brainless person. What? Want to fight? If you don't agree, go out and try. You will die if you try. They quarreled again. Stop it. The old president sighed. The enemy this time is not as simple as we thought. The old president said slowly, no one knows how strong a true saint is, so we should be cautious. After all, after practicing to this level, no one wants to die like this, right? That's right. When death was mentioned, everyone present became solemn. Those who could reach this point had a long lifespan, and no one wanted to die so easily. Before we start, I have another question to ask. The old president paused, squinted his eyes and looked at the dean. Excuse me, are the recent rumors about Pluto, the true saint relics and the true saint heritage true? Puff. Before the dean said anything, Jezekiel laughed first, then felt that it was not the right occasion, so he lowered his head and held it back. Oh, about which one? The dean said calmly, it's fake, all fake. What? When this was said, the whole audience was shocked, and then they were angry. Many people came for the true saint heritage. Now telling them that it is fake, isn't this a joke? Old man, you dare to lie to us? Crazy. Are you Blue Star people crazy? You dare to joke about such things? Oh my God. This is a shocking scam. Now the whole solar system is shocked by it. Do you know that besides us, there are a large number of people going directly to Pluto? Facing the accusations in the conference hall, the dean looked calm and said lightly, these are all insignificant things. After all, the true saint may exist. Does anyone know about the relics and inheritance? I do it. An uncertain news stirred up the entire solar system, and countless people went crazy for it. Is it really a draft? Ahem. The old president coughed twice. He also learned this news from various channels. Although it was fake, their purpose did not change at all. None of these people in the conference hall left. S.I. Dan. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 378. Originally, this matter was only about Blue Star. After all, the first expeditionary force went to Pluto. After the destruction of the first expeditionary force, the news spread from Blue Star to the solar system, and then other races followed suit. This time, it was no longer about Blue Star. Most of the races followed suit. The second expeditionary force of Blue Star was just one of the troops. The old president stretched out his old finger and tapped the star map on the display screen. Then, around the dimmest Pluto, more than a dozen lines surrounded Pluto from all directions. Encirclement and suppression war. According to the intelligence from Blue Star, the unknown creature we call Pluto has the ability to kill on a large scale. Therefore, in order to prevent being defeated in an instant and to prevent the whole army from being wiped out at the same time, we must encircle and suppress Pluto from all corners. The old president began to state the strategic policy of the encirclement and suppression war, and he didn't know if it would work. Oh! Many people fell into contemplation. The effect of attacking from one direction and encircling from all directions is definitely different. After all, the news from Blue Star that the first expeditionary force that shocked the universe was wiped out in just a few moves made many people present tremble in their hearts. However, their hearts were still covered with a shadow. In the meeting hall of the crusade, a heavy atmosphere enveloped them. Several people looked at each other. The old Mandogui was drowsy, as if he had not heard anything. Li Yangtian of the Fire Demon clan and Habinghun of the Sea King clan glared at each other. The dean had a gentle smile on his face, and I don't know what he was thinking. The half-saint of the outer city held a long sword, full of murderous aura. Tagore of the Saturn Titan clan scratched his head and looked around blankly. What's wrong? Everyone is silent. After a long silence. I don't know who said this. 8 directions. It also contains positives, right? Then who will bear the most positive? Boom. The air trembled instantly, and everyone's face sank. The encirclement and suppression war is all round, but among the 8 directions, there is also a frontal one. And the frontal one is facing Hades head-on. The first expeditionary force died in 3 rounds. How many rounds can their forces last? That's right. To attack Hades head-on is to die. Whoever is responsible will die. Since they know it's to die, who would be willing to go? The force that attacks head-on is the first force to leave, and no one is willing to do so. Or, pull out a few small forces, gather them together, and throw them to the front. Li Yangtian suggested. His eyes looked at the dozen or so representatives of the extraordinary realm opposite with ill intentions. This suggestion is very tempting. Unfortunately, it was instantly drowned out by the voice of resistance. Lord Li Yangtian, we can't pretend we didn't hear you. Cannon fodder isn't that easy to find, right? That's right. If we only talk about attacking, Lord Li Yangtian's men are capable of withstanding the frontal pressure, right? Lord Li Yangtian, I'm sorry we can't agree with your proposal. Sure enough, the supernatural forces are numerous, and the voices of condemnation are one after another. This is only in the conference hall of Holy Light City. If it were in the outside world, even if they had the courage, they wouldn't dare to talk to the grumpy brother Li Yangtian like this. Bang! Asshole! Li Yangtian's whole body exploded with flames, veins on his forehead were bulging, and he was furious. Asshole! Those who don't agree, go out and practice. I'll beat 20 of you alone. Immediately, the supernatural representatives put out the fire, and Li Yangtian could easily beat 100 of them, let alone 20 of them. This may be the strength. Are the supernaturals who can enter here weak? Not weak. Everyone is a big boss in his own territory. But now, they are facing the top existence in the solar system, the half-saint. There is no harm without comparison. In front of the half-saint, they still have no right to speak. Humph. Li Yangtian glanced at them and snorted coldly, this is not possible, and that is not possible. Then you can come up with a solution. If you are really that strong, then you can go and fight Pluto alone. I don't know who whispered this sentence, which made Li Yangtian's face suddenly darken. If I can beat him, why do I need you bunch of trash? The conference hall was quiet again. They would not agree to pull out a group of cannon fodder to confront Pluto head-on. What should we do? Someone has to be responsible for the front. Someone suggested, why not take some people from each force and form a death squad? As soon as this was said, someone immediately refuted it. Everyone knows that they are going to die, so who would be willing to go? Besides, aren't their own men human? If you don't feel sorry for them, I will. Then what do you think we should do? Who knows what to do? The heated discussion lasted for several minutes, and the most gentle half-saint, the muscular man Tagore, suddenly spoke. Tagore smiled innocently, since you don't want to, why don't you choose the forces that are not involved? In an instant, the quarrel in the conference hall stopped, and everyone looked at the honest Tagore. After a moment of hesitation, someone asked, Sir Tagore, what do you mean? Tagore's dark face showed a gentle smile, so don't you need a death squad? If you don't want to, just leave it to others. Anyway, there are still many forces that are heading straight for Pluto. Isn't it better to leave it to them head on? Shock. Shocked. Shocked. Everyone took a breath and looked at Tagore with shocked eyes. This sentence simply overturned their impression of Tagore's semi-saint. The more honest people say, the more cruel they are. Looking honest, but actually black-bellied. As expected, no creature that can get to this point is simple. It's obvious that those who don't know will be cannon fodder. At that time, they will occupy 3 of the 4 sides, leaving only the front to the forces that are not here. All cannon fodder behaviors will be borne by the forces that are not here, and they will sneak attack from the side and rear. Too cruel. Everyone looked at Tagore with strange eyes, not knowing what to say. Tagore looked innocent, I just said it casually. If you don't want to, it's fine. No. Everyone said in unison, let's do it. Then, everyone turned their attention to the old president. Then let's do it. The old president who presided over the meeting nodded, in this case, please keep it secret for the first stage. It must be kept secret.